So this evening I am getting ready to go overseas. Tomorrow morning I'll be flying out to Prague in the Czech Republic. And I'm not looking at this as like a normal vacation. Because for one, I'm going solo. And two, I'm looking to get something out of this trip. Like I'm going there with a very specific reason in mind. And that's as like a social challenge to hone and sharpen my social skills in an environment where I'm going to be entirely self-reliant when it comes to meeting people and making things happen. So yeah, I just wanted to hop on camera and kind of go over what I'm looking to get out of this trip, my objectives, and also like how I'm going to get there. Maybe kind of a weird way to look at a holiday or a vacation, but I don't know, I really enjoy this kind of thing. So in terms of why I'm going there, as I mentioned, it's kind of felt like the next social challenge that I'm working towards. I've always benefited from doing things that got me out of my comfort zone, whether I really wanted to do them or not. I took a similar trip to Portugal a couple of months ago, stayed in a hostel, had a private room, so I'm not in some fucking bedbug infested dorm. I don't even think I could do that. But I stayed in a private room, but this hostel, they organised activities in the day and in the night and open to anyone, but whether I actually went along and talked to anyone was all on me. You know, in theory, I could have just stayed in my room the whole trip or just hung out on my own, but I didn't really want to do that. I also, at the time, I felt like very anxious about it, very nervous, but I knew that if I wanted to have like a good social time on this trip, I'd have to like almost push through the fear. So that's what this trip is about. It's creating that space for me to get outside my comfort zone and then take home all the glory, like push through something I was scared of doing and then come back with like some really positive reference experiences. So I'm pretty much doing the exact same thing on this trip, staying in a hostel, private room, activities in the day and night. But the responsibility, like the accountability on myself is the same. I can go there and have the best time of my life, or I could be really bored and lonely. It's entirely up to me to make things happen. And I like that challenge. I've got my little list here in front of me. Secondly, I think something really positive about getting away in general, especially on your own, is the experience of going to places where no one knows you. Sounds kind of obvious, so yeah, like of course no one's going to know me, but when you spend a lot of time around your hometown, or you've been living in the same place your whole life, around the same people in particular, you almost feel like the weight of the past on your shoulders. Sometimes this is purely something which goes on like in your head, but when I meet people from school or just people I've known for years, I can't help but like occasionally flash back to some like embarrassing memory from when I was like 13 or 14. Some like public humiliation in school that this person might have been present for. And sure, it's like 10 years later, but it's like, it's kind of a painful thought to think that they might still like remember that version of me. And in a way that makes the present version of you start like compensating, and maybe you're not fully being yourself, or you can't reinvent yourself as you would like. And this is a very real thing. Like I do feel this like a lot, just the weight of the past and other people's expectations for how they think you should act based on like things they've seen from you. So just going somewhere where no one knows you and you can, as cliche as it sounds, kind of like be whoever you want to be, is really refreshing. And one of my actions that I've set for myself leans in more to this, and we'll talk about that later. And the third reason is just, I'm not going to dress it up. It's just to blow off steam. Like, I work very hard. I have a 9 to 5. I'm young. I just want to go out. I want to meet some new people, experience a new culture, have some fun in the evenings. It's not got to be something like really, really complicated. I just want to have fun. So in terms of the micro actions that I'm setting for myself, first of all, going to sign up to as many of these activities as possible. I've always had the mantra that you can't control who you're going to meet, whether the people you meet will have things in common with you, whether you'll share the same sense of humor, whether they're someone who you could potentially be friends with. You can't control who you're going to meet. But what you can control is just going to places and showing up as much as possible. Just showing up, even if it's for like 10, 20 minutes to decide if it's for you, that statistically increases the odds that you are likely to meet someone cool, like tenfold. It's just how it is. Like, the more things you go to, the more opportunities you give yourself to come out with some lifelong friends. And this was 100% the case on my last trip. Just went along to everything, even when I was nervous, even when I didn't feel that social. Ended up getting into a more social mood, and then met some really cool people who I am still in contact with today. And I'm kind of like building up like a network on these trips of friends all around the world, and that's going to help me like with traveling in future. So yeah, that's a pretty cool feeling, but I'm just going to go to as many things as possible. Simple as that. I'm going to try my best to talk to everyone. It's quite a big goal, and it's going to be tough, especially when I don't feel like it. Because in the beginning on these types of trips and other points of your life, like I had something similar when I moved to uni. Because no one knows each other, everyone is much more open, much more friendly, but it's kind of out of desperation, because everyone kind of senses that if I don't make something happen now, then I'm just going to end up friendless. So it's easier at the start because people are receptive, but the longer you go on, people become a bit more closed off because they find their people, they find their friends, and then they stop making an effort to talk to new people and experiment. And this is something I found on my last trip. I kind of found my crowd about like 2 or 3 days in. And then I stopped working hard, and there'd be like new people turning up to this hostel, new girls. And I'd already met a girl that trip. I'd already made like one quite close friend. And I kind of just stopped trying. Like, I wasn't getting around the group as much, and I could have pushed myself a little bit harder, but I kind of got stuck in my comfort zone. So this is something I want to work on this trip, just kind of pushing myself a bit further, not getting complacent. And this is all about kind of going past your limits, because that's how your comfort zone and your social limits expand, by going past them when you're not necessarily in the mood. So that's a big task for this trip. Next one, just be abundant with my energy. What do I mean by that? I mean showing warmth and being open with people that I just met. Think about it. I'm going to a city. There's millions of things to do, and not that much time, strictly speaking, to get to know people. So treating the people around me who I've just met as if they were like close friends of mine might sound a bit silly to some people, but showing that warmth early on, especially in environments like this, it's kind of a cheat code, because it's like, it helps form that closeness with people. Not every culture will be used to this. Like, I wouldn't say people from the UK are necessarily like this. They can be a bit closed off, but I'm trying to be the opposite of this. I'm trying to like give my energy to the people around me, almost the opposite of like the frame of mind we get in. We're a bit afraid of rejection. I'm going to just like ask people very early on, do you want to go and do this with me? Do you want to go and get food? It doesn't matter if I've only known them 5 minutes. I want to have that like warm, open energy. And just not be like stuck in my own head, like second guessing, do these people actually want to hang out with me? Like, they're within their rights to say no to me, and I'm not gonna get offended by that. But I think if I want to make things happen on this trip quickly, that's the way to go about it. And I've had people do this with me, and it's always been a very welcome gesture. And the final thing, and this is so important, this is also kind of like related to that point I said about, what was the point? Mine's gone blank. Going to places that no one knows you. So, for me, my number one objective on this trip is with everyone that I meet, I'm not going to try and portray myself in a certain way. I'm not really going to try and create any kind of impression. I know that the person I'm inherently friendly, and I'd like to think I'm likable, but I'm not going to go the extra mile to portray myself as like cool, or I don't know, like a bad boy or something, which I have done in the past. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to focus on my own enjoyment. I've talked about this in other videos. I think the point of just conversation and meeting new people is to just try and have as much fun as possible, which means leaning into the things that you find funny and interesting. As simple as it sounds, just being yourself. I'm not going to start changing who I am. I'm not going to start changing or filtering my personality and what I find funny, as long as I'm not intentionally like looking to offend anyone, which I wouldn't anyway. But I'm not going to start like changing my personality and the things I say and the energy that I put out on account of other people and making them like me. Because my philosophy on this is, if I'm unapologetically myself, if I say and do things that I find funny or that are true to me, regardless of like who's in the room or how well I know them, then I know that I'm putting out the most authentic version of myself. If people don't like that, then tough shit, they can jog on. But at least that's a very fast test of incompatibility. They'll know very quickly that we're just not compatible. And that works and vice versa. If I put out that kind of energy, don't try and portray myself as anyone else, then I'm not going to end up with people who only like me because of who I'm portraying. They'll like me because they like genuinely do like me and my energy, which is just an amazing tip for life in general. Just unapologetically be yourself. It takes a long time for that to really sink in. It sounds like something you tell like a high schooler or some teenager and they just wouldn't listen. But there's more nuance to it than that, but it's just the truth. Just unapologetically be you, and the right people will seek you out. That's pretty much it, man. I'll probably make a few videos whilst I'm out there, like update you guys on how it's going, but I'm very excited. I'm just ready to get stuck in. See you, man.